like needy cats.
She's a little needy, but we can always push her away.
I do this.
Nice. So,
Nice.
I just want to let you know that anything we talk about is in confidence between us. I can only tell authorities if you decide that you need to hurt yourself, or if you mention that you want to harm another person. It's my ethical responsibility to alert the authorities and to let the other person know. But since we're talking about jobs, I mean, that might sometimes we get upset. So
sometimes emotions get high.
I will use my best judgment.
You'll ask me if I'm being serious, and I'll be like, most likely no. This is just my feelings. I've done a lot of therapy.
Oh, okay. So you know how this.
I know how it goes.
It goes. Okay, great. So
I can't believe I get to hold this cat. This cat never. I feel like this cat may never sit still.
Well, if she annoys you, we can always push her out of the office. She hangs around the whole building. She's kind of the office cat.
Office kitty.
So what did you want to talk about?
Well, something happened at work, and so about a week ago, I was leaving work. It was closing, so it was like 11:30, and
AM or PM? Just curious.
PM.
Nights. Okay.
Is that night?
Okay, so you worked all day.
Yeah, I worked from like 12 to 11. It was a long day. It doesn't matter if it was long. I closed. And a fucking coworker followed me home. And I freaked out, of course. And I went in the next couple days. I went and saw my personal therapist about it because I was just like freaking out or whatever. But in terms of like careers, in terms of how to proceed throughout my job in a professional manner, I'm torn because I go in a couple days later to report it. When I go back to work, this cat likes to be handled roughly. And I just walk in, and like the first thing I do is, go to the working assistant store manager, and I tell them what happens because HR isn't in the office yet because I open, and I just needed to immediately get it over with. Get it over with sounds weird. I just needed to report it. I didn't know what to do. Something like this had never happened before. I've never worked in a company like this, so like honestly, even though I asked other people, they were like, tell your boss. You just tell your boss. And I'm like, I have like 8 bosses. I don't know. So I just went in and I told him. And it was over in like a minute. And it was actually a female boss. And I was really surprised by that. She's just like, oh, what happened? And I told her, I was like, I like walk out of the store and the guy starts following me on his motorcycle, and he fucking follows me home. He fucking follows me off of company property and he starts following me home. And well, did he get out of the car? Did you say anything to him? Did you know him before? And I was like, I think I met him like a week ago at work. Like, we're not friends. We're not acquaintances. And the fact that he was like, I followed you because I wanted to keep this, out of there. I don't want to mess work and personal life up. And it was just fucking weird and creepy. And like, and she was like, oh, well, there's a form somewhere. I can't really, you can look it up on the website. It was just it felt really dismissive. That's what I felt. That's what my gut was telling me. And I was just like, okay. And I like left. And like 20 minutes later, I was just like, that doesn't fucking feel right. HR still wasn't in. And I told the actual store manager. And the first thing that's like, before I even get into the storytelling, the first thing that comes out of his mouth is like, did this happen on or off company property? And I was just like, I get that you're doing your job. At the same time, you are fucking sucking at your job right now. So I tell them what happens. It takes an hour for him to try and locate the form. An employee complaint form. He doesn't fucking find it.
You never found
He
it.
never found it. And I was just like, I was just flabbergasted at the lack of just how they handled it. It was just completely, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't completely, it was, I understand that there's company policies and that they have to protect the company and all that fucking bullshit. At the same time, it was like, I'm a human fucking being, I'm a woman, and this happened, and you're just being very dismissive, and we're just gonna gloss over this, and like nothing really happened, and like that's just the feelings that I was getting.
So, but when he followed you home, it started on company property.
Yeah, it was the goddamn parking lot, and I just felt it in my gut. I'm not kidding, dude. Like, he was like, "Oh, bye," and I was like, "Bye." And I got in my car, and as I'm leaving, I hear the motorcycle run up, and I see it start, and I go like a back way, like I go another way. It's a big ass parking lot with that million exits, and nobody ever goes the way that I go. And I can just fucking tell the guy starts going, and I'm just like, and I like slow down, and I pull off to the side like twice on the road to like pass by, like if you need to go around me, because I just knew something was fucking off, and he just like would slow down and come out by me, and I was just like, adrenaline rushing. I didn't know what to do. I'm a fucking spastic, or I get really triggered really easily by stuff like this. It's at night. It's by a man, somebody I don't know. It triggers a lot in me. And and the first thing that the woman said, and what the man said, and what HR ended up saying, was not like, I'm so sorry this happened. Like this isn't okay. This is inappropriate behavior. It was like, well, why didn't you drive to the police? Well, why did you pull over? It was fucking victim blaming, victim shaming. And I ended up in my reporting both of the store managers, because I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. And yet I have to work with them, and it's on record, and the silly little, basic fears of like, oh, they're not gonna like me anymore, like, oh, they're gonna treat me differently, blah blah. And at the same time, like, this is not okay. How y'all handled this is not okay. You as individual humans, I don't know, you could be great, but as professionals, severely lacking. And this is not so much a jab at you. It's not even a jab. It's not so much I'm reporting you. I'm reporting what happened so your company can know that it's falling behind in some training somewhere, because even fucking HR was just like, I was like, are you kidding me? This is like your fucking job, or this is an aspect of your job. Human goddamn resources.
So, we're coming to an end of my time with you.
I talked for 10 minutes about this.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Thank you for listening.
No, it's my job, of course. But I hear that you are, so you're feeling, that the people that are supposed to be your guiders at work and supposed to protect you, and
I guess.
not so much protect you, but the people that are supposed to be responsible are not being responsible.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's really frustrating. And what happened to you is very traumatizing. And it's happened to many people I've talked to. Being followed home from work at nighttime is really a scary thing to do. But outside of work, yes, you can drive to the police, but of course in that moment you're nervous, your emotions are going crazy, you don't think logically.
Yeah.
You don't really think, you don't think logically, so you
just... why do you go to the police? Why you just drive?
Right. And that's just very undermining how they said that to you. Now, my suggestion on how to fix this problem, or start to fix what's happening. We can't fix, immediately everything right now. Wish we could. We can't fix the fact that your managers don't know where that piece of paper is. We can't fix the fact that your managers, take the company side over the real moral side of the story and what's happened. But you mentioned you got that promotion earlier by, what is she, a district manager, a regional manager?
She's a manager of like
Multiple.
a department. Yeah.
Okay.
She's like 2 people above my current boss.
So, and you guys clicked. So I'm wondering if that you could talk to her about it.
Probably.
And maybe she could offer some insight and suggestion on what you can do with working with those people. She might not be able to help it be reported. She might not, because she still is a part of the company. But since you all clicked, she might be able to help you navigate how to work with your current bosses that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, and how that should function.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You think you could maybe, do you feel comfortable talking to her about it?
Yeah, I can ask her.
Okay.
Just be like, help me employer. No, I can just be like, this thing happened. How do I deal?
Say how you felt with the
What is
bosses
some
and,
advice? Yeah.
and what should I do? What is my step?
Yeah, I feel emotionally safe with her to do
Okay,
that.
that's good. And I have some paperwork that I can give you on working with bosses that
Suck.
take the company before the employees.
Mm.
So I'll give that to you before you leave.
I mean, it makes sense, and at the same time, it doesn't.
Right.
It's like the most frustrating part about it.
And I'll let you know that it's the same way at every company. The company has to protect itself, and when you're put in the managerial status, it's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, and that's what gives me like fucking sympathy for them. That's where I get like angry. I'm like, that's not.
Right.
Like, 'cause I fucking get it. Like, ugh. Yes, thank you. I'd like to see that paperwork.
Okay.
I like that
excellent.
homework. Nice little homework.
Yeah, I like to give homework. I think it's good to talk about it. Just, wait a few days.
Mm.
It takes about 48 hours for your limbic system to calm down, which is your fight or flight. So,
48 hours, really?
yes, 48 hours.
Oh, good to know. I should just like write that.
And if
on
you
my
have
pad.
some sort of mental, any kind of like depression, anxiety, anything, it can take even longer.
Sorry.
72 hours. Okay. We're all human. 72 hours. It can take longer for that.
Well, no wonder everything is all the things, because I have all those things.
Oh, okay.
So,
And you see a psychiatrist for
I
it.
see a psychiatrist, I see a
Okay,
therapist, I go to
therapist.
group, I do lots of things.
Well, I'm really glad that you opened up and talked to me about it
Thank
in
you,
the
Connie.
career way.
Thank you.
Does it give you a different perspective?